Hello ladies and gentlemen! If you've been playing Minecraft for a long time, you probably know everything about the game and there are hardly any surprises anymore. For today's video I wanted to spice up the standard behaviors a bit and implement the exact opposite of certain blocks and items. The data pack I created for this purpose has 10 brand new features which you can use to kinda troll your friends. But before we get into the data pack, a quick word from today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. I've already worked with them 2 months ago and since then I'm still actively playing the game because I actually really enjoy it. So if you want to try it out, the download link is in the description. Raid is the sensation of the mobile world, the RPG that just changes everything. You've probably heard a lot about it already, with over 10 million mentions in just a few months. It's crazy popular right now. It even got 15 million downloads in the last 6 months. There are over 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize, which in my opinion always keeps the game fresh and exciting. And the best part, it is free to play. There are even some extra cool features in the game. If you don't enjoy grinding, for example, and would rather invest your time into developing your teams and fighting the fun stuff, you can use the multi-battle auto mode, which sets battles to run automatically while you can go do something else. The weekly tournaments and events also provide you with a lot of variety in the game and give you several options to compete and win extra prizes. The game is growing super fast, as you can see in this cool roadmap that they've published. They actually have huge plans for updates in the game for over 6 months. New factions, a tag team arena feature and even a new clan boss that you'll be able to fight with your clanmates. You can find me in the game under the nick McMakistein, and if you want to join my clan, it's called Clan McClanface. Go to the video description, click on the special links, and you will get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program to start your journey. But now let's get into the data pack. Getting your hands on the items is really simple. Just enter the command tag at p@give and you will receive everything you need. The first item is the Ender Pearl, and since the opposite of a circle is still a circle, I made it look like a donut instead. Normal Ender Pearls can be used to teleport forward, so I thought I'd make this new item teleport you back in time. If you hold the item in your hand and right click, you will be teleported to where you were located about 10 seconds ago. So if you accidentally fell into lava in the Nether, for example, this is a great escape tool. And even if you die from the fire damage, at least your items will not burn in the lava. Speaking of lava, there is a very annoying block in the Nether that damages you when you step on it, the magma block. I thought it might be a fun idea to invert it and create a block that heals you whenever you stand on top of it. Using the spawn egg, places down this new custom block whenever you want. I decided to invert the 2 colors of the texture so that it still kind of blends in with lava, netherrack and normal magma blocks. And walking across it also has the expected effect. You get regeneration. Destroying the block works just as you would expect to. You can simply mine it like any other normal block and it will vanish. The next block I wanted to invert is TNT. Couldn't come up with a cool name, so I just called it NTN in this data pack. The key difference here is that NTN will ignite whenever it is not powered by a redstone block. So when you place one using the spawn egg, you will notice that it immediately goes off. To prevent this from happening, you have to place it next to a redstone block. Don't ask what the application for this could be, I don't have the answer. I mean, if you want to set off a trap, you could pull a redstone block away instead of pushing it to the TNT, but that comes down to the same exact thing. But maybe you're more creative than I am and can come up with some cool ideas. One of the most handy items in the game is the Totem of Undying. If you live dangerously, you basically just have a second life and don't run into the risk of losing all your valuable gear. The opposite of undying is, well, dying. So I created an item that kills you every time you have it in your inventory. There could, for example, be some sort of boss that drops this alongside a bunch of other good items, and you'd have to be really careful not to pick everything up to avoid dying. Either you just walk up to the loot slowly, or you build some sort of hopper collection system so you don't actually have to pick it up yourself. In order to still transport it around though, I set up the system so that it only kills you if you don't have a dead bush in your inventory. And don't worry, entering the give command in the chat automatically gives you one so that it doesn't act like a suicide command. Moving on to the dispenser. If you think about it, the opposite of dispensing items is sucking them in. The so-called undispenser is able to collect all the items in a certain radius around it. They don't even have to be in line of sight, so you could even set up a bunch of these blocks underneath a mob farm to have them automatically collected. Since the block doesn't actually act as a container, make sure to place a hopper underneath it. The next item is not a pickaxe. Literally. Instead of destroying blocks, the functionality of this item is placing them instead. Before you get started, make sure to collect a bunch of cobblestone, because the not a pickaxe cannot generate material out of thin air. If you now right click, a stone will be placed wherever you look. Keep in mind that the system checks for a collision, so you can't just put the stone block somewhere in the air. The cool thing is that this item has a range of about 10 blocks. So if you want to bridge over somewhere, there's no need to crouch and place blocks underneath you. Simply look at the other side, right click a couple of times, and you can reach your destination much easier. If we're at the topic of mining, what block is the most exciting to see in a survival world? Probably diamond ore. So for this data pack I added a new block called Aerod Nomade. It consists of an inverted version of the standard texture and has a very special, not so amazing functionality. Whenever you mine a block, it will randomly take away between 1 and 3 diamonds from your inventory. A new player who doesn't know about this behavior and mines it out of curiosity will come home to an unpleasant surprise when his previously mined diamonds are all gone. Another fun idea I had was in regards to creepers. There already is a way in the game to turn mobs upside down, so I thought I'd just use this feature and add some more behaviors to it. So, creepers named Dinnerbone will no longer explode when you get too close, but when you go too far away from them. If a friend of yours doesn't know about this, he could potentially get really confused when he encounters one of these inverted creepers. Of course, I also had to invert swords in this data pack, so I created a new weapon that damages yourself whenever you hit an entity with it. Instead of inverting the texture colors, I thought it fit better to actually flip the sword upside down so that you're now actually holding the blade. That way it kinda makes sense that it damages you when using it. There is, however, a very practical use to this sword. Since mobs take damage even if you have a weak or no weapon at all, I had to do something to prevent them from dying. So whenever you hold the sword, all mobs around you will receive resistance to solve this problem. If there's a villager with really good traits being attacked by a zombie, for example, this could really come in handy. Or let's say you have a beloved pet that's about to be blown up by a creeper. If you select the oof sword quick enough, he will be safe and not take any damage. Last but not least, I wanted to invert the functionality of a lamp and created the blinder. Once again, just use the spawn egg to place it down and break the block to remove all its entities in effects too. Apart from the visual appearance, the blinder also works, of course. As soon as you power it with a redstone block, all players around it will receive blindness. This is a great tool to build a security system with. So let's say you detect intruders in your base, you could activate one of those blinders, spawn a bunch of mobs, or activate any other mechanism of your choice. And that's it for the 10 new items I added. I had a bunch of other ideas as well, but decided to just pick my favorites to finish this video in time. But I'm curious, which item or block would you guys have inverted for this data pack? The comment section is always filled with a lot of creativity, so I'm looking forward to hear your ideas. Thanks again to Raid for sponsoring this video, and you guys for sitting through the ad and therefore allowing me to pay my rent. Sponsorships always spark some controversy, so I appreciate those of you who understand their importance for creators, especially for smaller ones like me. If I didn't accept offers like this, I couldn't continue releasing free data packs, and I'd have to go find a more well-paid second job. and Raid is a product I actually stand behind, so I'm happy to be working with them. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.